Welcome back. 10-minute drawing techniques, episode 7. Hope you guys haven't watched all 6 of these without a bathroom break. This has been quite a marathon for me. But anyway, I think I'm finally done most of the main things to do with perspective. And I want to start showing you guys how to start applying these things. That's what we've been doing. Want to start learning how to actually create and sculpt form using all of the things that we've learned in the past, in all the past tutorials, and still going to have to use your point-to-point techniques. Going to have to use your curve waypoint techniques. Use those. Use everything you learned and apply them. Do the exercise. Do your own exercise to drill them until you do them naturally, because that's what makes you a pro. That you can do this every single time. So anyway, I want to show you some neat, funky sculpting techniques. Actually, this may have more to do with construction than anything else. But I'll just show you. Here's how you can work with carving out form. Remember how I said earlier that you can take an object and deal with the converging and diverging lines to say if something's getting closer or further from you, right? When the lines converge, they get further away from you. When they diverge, they get closer to you. So, knowing this, I can just draw 2 lines like this, and I can figure out, well, let's see, where is this? I can make forms that get closer and further from me, and just apply a cross-sectional contour, and it feels like it's going into and out of camera space. Gotta figure out where that. Trying to place where the contour reverses. That's a tough one. It's not something that can be chosen, at a whim. But now you can really get the feeling of things being 3-dimensional. You're carving out objects in space now. Another way to deal with this technique is simply add a 3rd line. This one, use your point-to-point techniques. This 3rd line, figure out that you're throwing in vertices, like a 3D model. Divide it up like a box. Okay, and the interesting thing is that this line, because it's stretching the whole length, is telling you that you're looking at the entire flat face of, this is one entire flat face that is twisting. It's twisting up and facing you. Same thing, throw in your vertices if you have to. It helps. Throw them in. I can even add yet another curve there. Take it slow. Don't rush it through. There's no sense in rushing. If you don't feel that a line's quite right, sometimes it just means you have to sit back for a bit and look carefully and let your mind fill in the gaps. If your mind's not filling in the gaps, then you're gonna have to plot a little bit more information for it to help it. So this is kind of a neat way of sculpting, because now with only 3 lines, you can get something that looks very solid. You know, this kind of thing is really useful if you wanted to draw, you know, say a torso. I can draw, you know, maybe the center curve, you know, of the spine, you know, and then I can maybe just add a few lines, and I can think, where's the front? Letting my mind fill in the gaps. You know, this is pretty easy. Throw on the third line. This is the third line. This is the edge. Okay. So, lots of fun. This is the fun stuff. This is where you're really carving out shapes. Point to point. You know, figure out where the top of the box is. This is just like 3D modeling, except that your mind is taking on the job that the computer normally does. You know, if things feel ambiguous, cut them into shapes. Figure out where's the back. You know, where's the side. Really carve things out. And now that you have the structure, you know, if you want to go ahead and you know, learn anatomy, then this gives you a good structure to place everything, you know, to place all of your muscles and use your anatomical knowledge. See that? Figure out where do I want that to end. And another thing is that these contours, whenever you're looking at a cube, for instance, or rather, I'm just drawing the silhouette of a cube, you know, you notice something is that the edges, the contour, you're always seeing an edge of a cube. No matter what, you're either seeing an edge or you're seeing a vertice of a cube. Okay? These lines here, these all sit on the interior. These three lines here, these all sit on the interior of the cube. You don't see them in the silhouette. And the same thing goes here. When you look at this figure that I've just drawn, this is an edge of a box. That's another edge. That's another edge. That's another edge. The silhouette is made up of edges. There's another edge. There's another edge. Whenever you draw and you construct and you know, everything, there's another edge right there. There's another edge. Kind of a neat thing. All right. Now, the other thing that's kind of running out of time. Okay, the other thing that's kind of interesting is that whenever you look at edges, if you look at two edges like this, you know, this edge pulls in, that edge pulls in, that edge pulls in. When you throw in a final contour, you know, your mind fills in this gap. You know, suddenly it gets a very, you know, you can do a lot with this just by looking at how do these lines pull in. It's because this form here, the shape of this form is overlapping the shape of this form. You know, and this form is overlapping the shape of this form as well. Alright, so look at how you're pulling the lines in. The other thing is that these lines, when they pull in, they almost always only pull in on the concave curves. Whenever the curve dents inwards here, that's when you start to get lines pulling in. And the other thing is that the quality of the lines, you know, you can use concave lines to indicate, you know, tension. There's tension. And then you can use convex lines like this to indicate compression. You know, like if you squeeze a finger and you see the fat, you know, kind of bunching up. So anyway, that's all the time we've got for these 10 minutes. I'll catch you later. Have fun, guys. Bye.